principles. I will start by saying that 10 years ago, when I published my first book, at a book signing, I had hundreds of people very curious to find out about the book in itself, the topic. And 10 years went by, and we just noticed that people are less and less interested in buying books, less and less interested in what's happening in the world, more afraid of what's happening in the world. And the reason I make such a big statement because my publish house says Random House is kind of falling apart, you know. There's chaos in the publish industry. Wait a minute, we live by our man-made laws, and as long as we live by our man-made laws, which are so imperfect, we're not going to find the solution to our own evolution. And I said to myself, there's all these divine laws that are very simple, and they are always the same. Why don't we want to infuse a little bit the divine energy into our lives? So the reason of this is to be less afraid of tomorrow. I bet probably any of you questions, is 2012 the end of the world? Is this world going to come to an end? Are we all going to die? Look at all the disasters. There's one hurricane about the other, one tornado after the other. Economy is falling apart. I was recently on Chuck Scarborough's show 3-4 days ago, a week ago, something like that, and he was asking me, is the economy going to get better, Carmen? I said, no, it's going to get worse. I said, oh my God, why are you making such a statement? All my life I made predictions. I love to predict because it influences your thoughts. It influences the way your mind looks at at the world around and your own life. It opens doors to your perception. And I work as a therapist, and people come to me and say, okay, Dr. Harra, forget about the therapy. What do you see for me? So using your intuitive mind to break chronology, go beyond linear time, and understand that there is a possibility, because we live in the world of possibility. Actually, one of the worlds of the divine is the world of infinite possibilities. So never be afraid that you're not going to find a job or you're not going to do well, because there is always a possibility of the things to change and turn around and make something wonderful happen to you. So coming back to why 11 principles, we live in the era of 11, the era of Aquarius. We have a president in the White House whose numerology is now 11. 11 is the number of enlightenment. So I said 11 laws symbolizes a new beginning. So the world is coming definitely to an end, but not to the end that you are afraid of. The world is not going to shift the pole. You're not going to die. You're just going to see that all the system, all these man-made laws created for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, are not going to be valid anymore. So things are going to change at the level of the society, the world that we created it. And talking about prediction, I've made many world predictions. Actually, I want to tell you what happened today to me in terms of prediction. I got 4 calls today. One came from Barbara Walters, a makeup artist, Lori Klein. She said, Carmen, you told me 3 years ago on a tape that Barbara Walters is not going to come to The View one day because of a health problem, and that this is going to happen so suddenly, and I have her on a tape. If you don't believe me, I can have you listen to her recording. She left actually a message saying, Carmen, I have you on tape. You said this about Barbara Walters. And then I was on The View myself, and I remember looking at Barbara and starting to tell her something. Do you have this? She rejected any idea of being sick. She said, everything is fine with me. Okay, well, then you're going to live 125 years. Actually, in my first book, as I was referring to my first book, I talk about humanity will change so much, so many levels of our being, that we're going to end up by living 150 years, 175, 200, 250 years. You cannot comprehend that kind of life, because at the moment here in the world today, we just see people dying of cancer at the age of 50. You see so many disasters. So it's hard to understand that the world that is coming, in so many ways, is a much better world than the world you see today. So what's coming to an end is the system. What's coming to an end is the end of a time in terms of our evolution, in terms of our perception. Our perception is so limited. I keep on telling you about abilities of the brain to see beyond, the abilities of projecting beyond the time, and the abilities of the brain to see things. Now, you're probably scared. You don't understand really the psychic mind. You understand how it works. And so 4 calls I got today. One was from Lori Klein. Another one from a woman who said, I called you in October and you told me that my husband is dating another woman. And her name starts with a G. And you also told me that I'm going to find out. And here I am. I just found out 3 days ago that my husband, who's around 40, is dating a 22-year-old woman who's a bank teller. And I was able to find out, going through his phone records, and I freaked out. You told me a name starts with that initial. Guess what? The name is Jennifer. So what am I going to do now? Am I supposed to divorce this man? I confronted him. He said he loves me. Well, I said to this woman, did I tell you you're going to divorce your husband? I said, no, but you clearly pointed towards something. I had no idea it's going to happen. I had no idea my husband is dating. So you see, for the women out there that you're suspicious of your husband, give me a call. Another phone that I got today came from a woman who said a year ago, I called you and you said to me, don't give up on your baby, because I was 3 months pregnant and the doctor said, this baby is going to be sick. Let's get rid of this pregnancy. You're going to have an abortion. And you swear to me and you said, you can bet on everything you have. You came so strong, said, let this baby live. It's going to be a healthy baby. I just gave birth to a healthy baby recently. And I have a daughter and she's perfectly fine. So there's nothing wrong to my baby. So that's what and the 4th call came from a woman, actually printed some of the emails, and a woman who actually said to me, 3 weeks ago my husband disappeared. I called you and you said in 10 days he will appear. Guess what? On 10 days on the dot, the man appeared. So is it that I'm talking about me having this? No, we all have this ability. We know things. We know about tomorrow. Why this society is living in fear? What are we so scared about our economy? Though getting worse, is there a reason in getting worse? Can you tell me if you have any questions for me about this? This is such a topic. Feel free to ask me. I'll tell you why the economy is going to get worse. And I tell you why this world has to come to an end, to the world that we know, to open doors to another world.